good to be back. It's good to be on air. I know last week it wasn't on Thursday, then I was trying for the weekend. Things came up, had to help family members move, and it just didn't happen, people. It just didn't happen. But we're back today. We're going to be talking about spiders and insects. And, oh, man, I think I already screwed up because in my background, I never changed the picture.
Hey, it's got the Gypsy Road effect, and the people got to know, man. Sponsored by Gypsy Road. Eric and Dr. Wu across the pond. Man, from the Seattle Supersonics to the crazy stuff in the Monarch State over there.
Oh, there's a lot of here we go. There's a lot of exciting things that's going to be coming down the pike. People are watching. I'm actually mapping out. All the Bigfoot hotspots up in the Olympic Mountains. Since I'm so close. So I'm gonna be eventually going out there, checking out the hotspots, checking out kind of like what you're doing.
Heck yeah, man!
Know? And I'm just trying to get not really a crew together, get a couple people to film the camera. You know, people might not know this. On my Gypsy Road channel, I have 2 footages of videos. One's a ghost about a haunted cemetery, and a fun Bigfoot hunt. Well, both of those cameramen one was a 13-year-old boy, and my daughter did the other one, 14-year-old. So I got, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun getting kids involved with the camera and all that. Even though I don't have a fancy camera, it's just hold on, I'm showing my camera. It's not a fancy camera. It's just it's just a Canon.
Hey, that's fancy enough,
my daughter.
A handful of feature films filmed on iPhones.
Yeah, so I got my daughter. She's my cameraman. So when I go on these Bigfoot hunts, I'm going to have my daughter there. And that's kind of cool in a lot of ways because she gets to be in the elements. Maybe she sees something because she'll straighten me out. Mm-hmm. She'll straighten me out. Just like when I said, hey, maybe Bigfoot's in heat. Dad, that's sexist. I'm like, Bigfoot's not sexist.
Right. They have 2 sexes at least that we know of, male and female. I don't know if they have, they and all those other pronouns. What's up, Chris Hurley, the walking legend, live on air? What's up? Live and direct, man. He knows all the legends of the Panhandle. He walks from Tallahassee all the way to Mariana, down to the freaking ocean and back. So respect. Watch out for the creepy crawlers. That's what we're talking about this episode.
No, we need people to go out and do their investigations. It's kind of cool to see different footages and all that. And and I know, anytime you talk about footages or you talk about, you think you found something, there's always going to be negative people. There's always going to be people saying, well, that's not a foot, or that's not a ghost, that's not a voice, and you just got to avoid the noise because the idea is sharing information. Because what if the size of the foot you found on your last video, what if somebody else a week earlier or a week later in that area took a picture and is almost identical? Then you got something to compare with, and that's what you're trying to do, share your information to see if somebody else might have something similar to the shapes that you found. I mean, that's called investigation. That's called research.
100%. They actually went out last Sunday, 1 week after we went up, and they found a handful of prints and tree structures. If anybody doesn't know what me and Eric are talking about, just recently I investigated the Green Swamp right in Central Florida, right outside of the Florida Bigfoot Conference, and we found Sasquatch prints. And the video is popping off right now on TikTok and YouTube. Let
me show people what we're talking about.
And right there is Tim T on the right and Florida Lone Wolf on the left. 2 legends.
And let me pop this into the chat. Let me type in so anybody else wants their link, go check it out. And guys, a lot of his videos are only a minute, 3 minutes. They're fast, easy, they're fun watch. You guys should all be checking it out and subscribing, of course.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. I like to give people a lot of information very quickly, like TikTok and Vine.
Yeah. And I also, guys, a lot of you know that I have a Reddit page is the only real Reddit page on Reddit, and I always try to post these videos on there too. So if you forget to subscribe to them, go to my Reddit page, and you'll find Bigfoot on there also.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Can't hear it very well, so I'm just speaking right now saying that Marie Dumont found this track just a quarter mile from some other tracks and just 25 yards from a palm tree that was ripped apart up to 20 feet. And Marie Dumont is the head of Mid-Central Florida Bigfoot Research Team. And man, respect to her. She was out there.
And the first thing that I'm looking at, what I'm looking at is what stands out for me is guys, first of all, I am no expert. I'm no expert on feet and all that, but by best judgment, this looks like more of an oval shape. What's kind of weird because it's like a long stretch where, my feet's 13. I wear size 13s and a lot of people are size 9. I mean, by me looking at this, this looks like size 19. It looks very long because I see a print. I know it's hard because you can't see my arrow when I'm pointing it. Can you see my arrow? I don't think you can. Because it looks like it goes from one end all the way up. Am I looking at it wrong? Or, do you know what I'm talking about? It's very long.
Yeah, everybody looked at it a little bit different. Some people looked at as just that indentation was the whole foot. Some people looked at it as there were claws on the end extending to where you're pointing to. Some people said it was the whole foot indentation. I think this one is kind of like a teenager squatch, probably just a little bit bigger than your and mine's 13, size 13. But this is a barefoot making that deep of an impression. Okay. But it was also some weird foliage. So, of course, you can't see it super clear. But Tim T., the tracker, he plans on keep coming back and during dry times, hopefully be able to cast some of these.
And I love looking at the area that you're in.
Yeah, a couple people actually said that they spotted Sasquatches in the background of us while we were hiking because Tim T actually released an hour-long expedition video. Tim T in Florida is his channel. I suggest everybody go there and check it out in the future. Some people watch it on 0.5 speed and they can see orbs and fairies and skyfish and a bunch of crazy crap. And it's really wild, man. But I'll show one picture. I got to pull up my phone. Tim T actually got a screen capture. He's doing a breakdown here very soon of this wild-looking beast. I'll show you guys right here. And what I see is a brown creature, and you can see its hair. And he says he caught it whistling as a plane was going over. And he has movement of it, so it is not a tree stump. But it's behind a tree. You can see the fur. You can see its armpit. Yeah. That is incredible. And it moves. So I'm really excited to see that footage. Tim T in Florida. But Panhandle Pirate, today I uploaded an hour long of our expedition GoPro footage from Cameron from Hidden Relief. He did great, recording around. We found tree structures that we think might be portals, a bunch of tracks, and then other tree language and forest symbols, ground glyphs on the ground, straight lines, bunch of wild stuff, twist off, tree bends. We recorded loud hoots and owls. Oh man, it was truly magical. And just 2 days, we gathered a mountain full of evidence. It's very cool.
Now, by any chance, were you able to find another dent in the front or behind it so you can try to pretend like if he's walking, how long his stretch is?
Yeah, they actually find another one. I'm gonna release that video. I think it's 52 inches, and that's pretty far.
Woo! 52 inches. How tall would that be, you think?
It could be in the range of 7 foot all the way to 10 feet tall. A lot of comments were saying that they thought some of these creatures were like 9 to 10 feet tall in the background. So it's pretty wild. And Long Island Bigfoot and I and Tim T just did an interview, and Long Island Bigfoot's like famous for having Bigfoot come really close to him in New York. And he says that you have to gain their trust and have an establishment with nature, and they don't just come out for everybody. And I work hard on becoming close with Mother Earth, and being out there trying to prove not their Sasquatch exists. I'm trying to prove to Sasquatch that I'm all right.
No, I've heard.
I think they've let me get
I've heard
close.
that. I've heard that from the sea squatchers, where they say that they could feel Bigfoot if he's in there. And they say that Bigfoot can feel them. And they know when it's safe. Chris Hurley wrote, "That's crazy. That looks like Bigfoot. It's not a bear." You're always going to have your nayers. You're always going to have your nayers saying it's probably a bear or an escaped gorilla or something. But, there's a reason, guys. There's a reason why Bigfoot ain't captured. These creatures aren't dumb. They're smart. They're intelligent.
Right.
There's so many things in the forest. There's so many things in the ocean. There's so many things. We have never gone past 7 miles digging in the ground. We just don't know.
We have no clue
what's out there. We think about cities and stuff. A city, if you look at Seattle is like one section of in the state of Washington. The rest of Washington is most like Olympic mountains, huge mountains, compact trees and stuff. Places where you just can't get into. So you can never say what's there. I mean, guys, remember the movie, since we're talking about spiders, look at the movie Arachnophobia, where in the beginning of the movie, they're researching to certain areas that they've never been to, and you don't know what's there. Yep. And they found, they didn't find the spider found them, and, traveled in the coffin and sucked the blood out of the person. But what I mean is, there's so many things out there we just don't know. There's so many insects, bugs, creatures that we just don't know. There's folklore stories with the American Indians, the Native Indians, the Chinese, Japanese. The older people tell stories, folklore, legends, skinwalkers. I mean, there's so many stories. You can't tell me that every single story from every single religious group out there is all wrong.
Yeah, I would never buy that. It goes back to ancient times, the Bible, the Quran, the Indian Ramayana. There's giant statues of dragons, Mothman. There's museums. There's festivals. There wouldn't just be this all made up. It goes back. What up, Forest Demon? Shout out, Alligators.
That's an interesting comment. Dogman is moving down south for a warmer climate. Hey, Forest Demon, we are going into a section of our time where, Earth is changing a little bit. I'm not saying it's because of global warming and all that, but the Earth is changing a little warmer, and that does change animals. It change how people survive, to survive in a warmer climate. Animals adapt to warmer climates. So, I mean, you never know, because the warmer climates or all the fires that goes on now. Every year, there's major fires that push animals out. So that would not surprise me if Dogman or Bigfoots or whatever are being pushed to other areas, because not even Bigfoot's going to stick around in a forest fire.
100%, man. When Mount St. Helens erupted, they found like 70 bodies outside, and the military was helping recover them. It's pretty crazy stuff. Have you ever had to evacuate your house for forest fires?
No.
Thank God.
No.
Are you anywhere close to the forest, like that could catch on fire?
Well, I live in town Des Moines. It's just right. It's just 5 minutes away from Seattle. So I mean, I would have to drive a little, not a lot, but 25 minutes to hit into the mountains above Redmond area. Redmond. God, man, I'm even forgetting areas. Issaquah. And then, of course, for me to go to the Olympic Mountains, I got to go across the Tacoma Narrow Bridge to cross. Now, I used to live in a town called Port Orchard, where Port Orchard is basically right behind the Olympic Mountains. But where I'm at here, I mean, we're not really. The only thing we're worried about here is not fires. The volcanoes, one thing. If volcanoes go, we'll all be affected. But earthquakes is what we worry here the most because San Andreas Fault. A lot of people think San Andreas Fault is only with California, but a San Andreas Fault goes all the way up to Washington.
Wow.
In the Seattle area, so.
And you have to watch out.
Of course, before Seattle, I lived in Fresno, California. Fresno's in the middle of the valley, where the only thing we're used to there is hot, flat land, hot.
And the Fresno night crawlers, man, one of the scariest cryptids. Just the parasites coming.
But we grew up in the Yosemite National Mountains. I mean, we grew up in my family were hunters. I mean, we weren't rich. When kids went to Disneyland, our Disneyland was going to mountains, hunting deer. I mean, that was.
Yosemite is a cryptid capital, man. Sightings of thunderbirds, dogman, of course, elves and fairy, and then tons of Bigfoot and a lot of missing 401 phenomenon over there.
I think the biggest problem trying to find anything in the Yosemite Mountains is there's so many different sounds out there. It is so hard to determine what you're listening to because there's just so many things out there in Yosemite National Mountains. And don't get me wrong, there's probably the same way in the Olympic Mountains, but the difference between the Olympic Mountains and Yosemite, when you go to Yosemite Mountains, there's a lot of trees, but they're more spread out. It's easier to walk through. It's easier to hunt. The Olympic Mountains is more condensed. Mm-hmm. So it's not an easy trail walk like it is Yosemite. I mean, you got to put your shoes on. You're going to be more collapsed, It's going to be harder to find a Bigfoot out there in the Olympic Mountains because it's more collapsed. Maybe that's why there's more maybe that's why there's more Bigfoot sightings there because it's harder to get a clear shot of Bigfoot, to get close because of how the mountains are. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know about Florida, New York and stuff. New York is more rolling hills type of mountains. So it's like there's mountains, but then you're 5 miles through it, you're in a town. I mean, it's just the area. Now, let me ask you about Florida, and then we'll get into spiders and all that stuff. Don't worry. Now, Florida's a big ass freaking state. So I'm 100%. Sure there's way different sections of Florida. But when I think of Florida, I think of alligators, part of the swamplands, and all that. So if you're I don't know how your mountains are because I've never been to Florida yet. Would you say that you see more sightings or hear more sightings towards the swamplands of the surroundings or the more of your mountain areas?
Well, we don't have necessarily mountains, but over here in the Panhandle, we have valleys and cliffs. And that's where I'm living right now. And there is a plethora of sightings because there's caves, that means too. But also in like the Everglades and Central Florida, where I was just researching the Green Swamp, it's just straight swampland. So only these creatures can get to some of these places because there's cypress trees that the roots won't even let a boat or let alone a kayak get through. So you would have to trample through. And that's dang near impossible for a human being. So the creature from the Black Lagoon, the swamp thing, it's just like that. But yeah, Florida is such a long state. Like I'm in the central time zone, but I go over, to where I was just researching, and that's in the eastern time zone. And it's just a long state. But
it reminds me of California. North, south, Los Angeles, San Francisco, totally different. California can be cut in 3 states. Texas and Florida, in my opinion, can be cut into 3 states.
100%.
But where you live, are alligators out there? Are they scary? Or because I saw the news long time ago. I think it was Disney World that a little girl got attacked by an alligator and pulled into the water.
Yeah.
Does that happen a lot in your area?
Yeah, yeah, it definitely happens a little bit more in Central Florida because all the tourists and just a heavier density of people, you know. But out here at Lake Seminole and on the Chipotle River and the Dead Lakes, they find monster alligators. Like last time we went kayaking, the one fisherman said he saw 3 of them. I didn't see any that day, but I've seen them on multiple occasions, and I know they're always out there. Definitely when I was in Lakeland, though, they're in every lake in Lakeland, and even when I was going biking, I would see them, you know, riding by. But yeah, they're definitely out there, and I don't want to sound like the cliche Fortean, but you know, they're more scared of you than you. But once one gets fed, then they just approach you with no problem, and that's when they become dangerous. So it's pretty wild, and people find them in their yards. And my mom has a pond. I've been waiting to see one there, but it would also be messed up because I have dogs and cats over there, so can't let that happen.
Do you think the alligators and Bigfoot can collide?
Oh, 100%. There's been stories of them battling and them being found in cabins. Like Bigfoot have ripped apart the jaw of gators because people have found the alligators ripped that way, kind of like Kong, how he ripped, you know, the Tyrannosaurus Rex in, you know, Skull Island and all that. Yes, I think they definitely do collide, but Bigfoot has infrasound and echolocating, so I think he could send out the vibrations to either scatter or maybe, you know, he leads them all part of the army. And of course that could happen because the Swamp Thing was definitely the creature of the swamp. He led everything. He was the chief out there, and everything obeyed him. So he could definitely control the crocodiles, the caiman, and the gators, and the Nile lizards. And there's big Komodo dragons caught here, and the iguanas get like 5 feet long. So it's just not the alligators. There's crocodiles here, caiman. Wow. It's wild. It's crazy. And the pigs. The boar are the most dangerous, I'd say, because if you get in between one of them and, you know, their babies, they will run you over, and the tusk will tear you apart like a knife. And it's very dirty, so it will infect you within seconds.
I mean, that's nature for animals. I mean, that's nature. I mean, they'll protect their youngs.
100%.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, probably the only animals that probably don't protect their youngs probably sharks in the ocean, right? They probably have babies. They just swing. They just go on by.
Yeah.
And during the winter, Bigfoot hibernates. During the summer, they go out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so okay. I've heard that from a few people that Bigfoot is like a bear; they hibernate. You know, I've heard that too. Yeah, and that makes sense because one thing you learn in the spring and stuff is you don't mess with any bears during that time, because when bears wake up, all that berries, all that food they ate actually becomes like alcohol into their system, and they're like basically drunks, and they'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
So
I've heard about
that's a good one, Chris. That's something to think about. If you're gonna go Bigfoot hunting, especially in the spring, watch out because they might just woke up.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely all Sasquatch, they follow different patterns, but I could definitely see some tribes practicing hibernation when the climate would have to like need it. You know, they would have to stock up before a harsh winter, and then when they wake up, they would get ready for it. But when you're down in Florida, man, you have to watch out for the creepy crawlies, man. There's a bunch of poisonous spiders and snakes and scorpions and tarantulas. So, you know, check your shoes before you put your feet in them. That's what I've always been told.
Well, let's see what this article says. This article here that I found says the 10 scariest horror films featuring spiders and insects. So let's find out what they say in the. Oh my God! I'm sorry, guy. I'm looking at the article. There's a picture on the top right that I didn't mean for that to be there.
Wow!
I seriously, I'm looking at it like, holy shit! There's a woman's toy right there.
See, I'm always like streaming things and going on like weird sites that always have just BS promotion on the side. So I just filter it off. Like I can't even look at it, you know.
I know you can't go on any sites now without advertisements and stuff. And I guess adults like scary things more than young people do. So It is what it is. Number 10, Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Arachnophobia, and Arachnophobia, for the size of those spiders, they were scary shits. I mean, especially the big battle scene at the end where you're fighting the king spider. And if nobody really knows the story, I mean, it's a simple story. They're investigating in a section of the mountains that they never done before, and one of the spiders got on a person and went back to camp. The spider bit him. The guy died. They put him in a coffin, and the spider got inside the coffin, and it was shipped back to America, which that's how diseases, that's how certain animals get to America in the first place. They hitchhike, more or less. And then this spider got out, found the barn, found the lady spider. They made out. I don't know how spiders, I never studied on how spiders have sex, but they had a bunch of soldiers, basically. Yeah. And these little soldiers all scattered. Now, these soldiers are like the ultimate Black Widow because they bite you, you die. So it was scary to that point where one bite, once bitten, twice shy, right? You're dead. So there was some scary moments in this movie.
It was awesome. Jeff Daniels is the main character, and John Goodman is the exterminator.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. It was pretty cool. And the one old man gets bit, and he says, "Oh man, it feels like it was a cougar." So yeah, it felt pretty bad, man. And yeah, they come from Venezuela and they mate with a local spider, and then it transforms into some super strength spider. And then they send out all the army ones, and then the big mother one crawls on Jeff Daniels at the end. And he flings in. There's a good fire scene. I watched it last night to restock on it, but I grew up watching that on TV. And my buddy John from next door at Fastlane, he's always talking about these classic movies, and he recommended I rewatch Arachnophobia, and I'm glad I did.
No, you can see these spiders. This is the scene from Arachnophobia. They all I mean, can you imagine looking at your sink and all these little spiders, and these things, like I said, they bite you, you die. And then
I want everybody to know that, bugs live in our pores. Little spiders live in our face. And I saw this one thing that this girl took a sample out of her sink, like where you spit, and she put it under a microscope, and you could see these little like insect creatures that live in our sink. So if you drop the toothpaste in your sink, flush it down. Do not put it back on your thing because there's little bugs in your sink.
Well,
everybody.
One of the dreams that I had as a kid, and I always remember this dream because we always had a lot of Danny long legs. We always have long legs in California. Yeah, black widows, a lot of long legs. For whatever reason, I dreamt that a long leg spider built a cocoon all around me.
Jeez.
And I remember like being in this cocoon and seeing the spider ready to suck some blood out of me. But then I woke up. But of course, I woke up. I didn't go. But still, I was never really scared of spiders. But I still remember that dream of a Danny Longleg making a web around me. Now, this is kind of interesting because the Fly. Now, the Fly is not a movie where a special fly came out of nowhere. This is basically a machine where he's making a machine to transport himself into to the other machine, kind of like the pre-Star Trek. And then, of course, with this machine, another life form, a fly, gets in there. So when he transfer from one to the other, the fly combines him into a person. And then, of course, the movie's about him changing into the Fly.
It's magical, man. Cronenberg and Jeff Goldblum, it makes your skin crawl. And man, the graphics are wild for a movie that was made a couple of years before I was born, man. And real quick, I want to give a special shout out to Chris Hurley. His birthday is this week too. Special dude, man.
How old are you, Chris?
He's going to be 31. And if you look at 31 backwards, shout out to your brother.
That's going to be your year.
Yep, the answers are always there.
I gotta show this at the end. I gotta show this because, guys, The Fly is a remake of the original, A Fly, back in the 50s. But there's a scene where the guy was turning into a fly, but in this movie, there's a fly that was turning into the human. And I love the sound on the spider. You guys got to hear this. You guys got to hear this. This is great. I love that because in the original Fly, there's a fly that's turning to a human. Where in the movie, he was the human turning into a fly. So somehow it did like a split. Where instead of combining into one, they are combining into one, but the human went out to be a fly, and the fly went out to become a human. And then seeing that spider in the 1950 version and hearing that scream, I don't know how, if I was living in that era, that would have put chills, man.
Yeah, I would have fainted.
Chills to hear that.
My cats were going crazy when you played that. They were going crazy. So it clearly reached the senses, man.
Paranormal On The World, hey buddy. Paranormal On The World. He's an awesome guy. He does sometimes he's been on my show before with Bell. We talk about haunted houses, haunted places, and they do a lot of Paranormal On The World. They do a lot of research. They just you need to check out their channel through the Paranormal Bell. I'm saying it wrong, but they just did a video on Mothman.
Dope. Yeah, that's from my home state, Ohio,
Yeah.
man. We're on the Ohio River, so I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, I know you're pretty big. Oh, I'm sorry. The show is called Through the Veil Paranormal.
Dope.
And they did a Mothman day tour.
Wow, man. Point Pleasant. Yeah, Point Pleasant's right on the Ohio River, West Virginia and Ohio, of course. It's a very magical place. The Ohio Valley has tons of Native American mounds and other legends. And I think the Mothman was just looking out for everybody before the bridge collapsed. A bunch of people died. Check out the Mothman Prophecies. That's a great movie, everybody.
Yeah, the show. I apologize for saying it wrong. It's Through the Veil Paranormal, and this is the Mothman Day Tour. And like I said, they actually asked the people to vote on what they wanted to research, and everybody said Mothman. And they went to the bridge, the famous bridge, and they went into the museum. I love shit like this. I mean, this stuff is just so exciting when real people are doing these investigations.
It's inspiring, man. It makes you want to get out there and, just tell your story, because everybody does have a story. And, that's what saw the Jeepers Creepers location, the Edward Scissorhands location. Then you share it because some people can't get out there physically or financially. So it's important to share our stories because people do want to see it. And, there are lone wolves out there that are, it's important, man.
Yeah. And if you guys are watching this now, there's the link to the Mothman stuff because I love when I don't think enough people talk about Mothman. I really don't. Mothman is a story that people should listen to. I mean, I love towns that takes it and runs with it. Let's do a parade. Let's do like a party. Yep. I love that. You guys are so lucky because in Seattle, they don't do shit. They don't have anything cool like this.
How far are you away from Boring, Oregon?
Boring, Oregon. Boring.
Yeah, you'll have to GPS it because Cliff Brackman has a Bigfoot museum there, and that would be an awesome tour for you to go there one day.
I'm 2 hours away from Portland.
So yeah, probably I think they're outside of Portland, so you're probably 2 hours away. Hopefully Boring is a little bit closer to you.
Yeah, I'm actually pulling it up. Oh, it's on the. It's not that far because it's almost connected to. Oh, you know what's funny? I didn't even mean this to happen. I went to look at the map on this other page, and here, let me pull this up. Right here, it does say North American Bigfoot Center.
Heck yeah. How far away is it from you? That's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, if I actually technically type in direction here, let me put Des Moines, Washington, and we'll see right now. It's about 2 hours and 51 minutes. So basically, with traffic, 3.5, 4 hours, which is not bad.
Yeah, it'd have to be a day trip.
Yeah, but I have to check that out.
That's cool. Yeah, next time you're down in that area, you'll have to do that. I'm gonna go check out the Skunk Ape headquarters in September when I go visit my dad down in the Everglades, and then I'm actually going up to Tennessee for a Squatch camp out with the Squatch and Cowboy, the 4th and the 5th on Thunder Rock Mountain. So that's gonna be wild.
Mothman is the hardest cryptid to explain. You're right, Force Demon. You're right. I mean, there is that movie with Richard Gere about Mothman, but I think the problem in the movie is it's not very exciting for young people. So
Right.
I mean, it's a very slower type of burn kind of a movie. You really got to pay attention for the whole story. They should really remake a Mothman. Spice it up a little bit so people want to hear the story, hear the legend. Some people say, well, I don't like movies being spiced up or be taken out of proportion, but sometimes you need to make a movie out of a proportion just so people start to dig into it. I mean, just think about this way, people. Think about Mel Gibson when he heard the story of William Wallace. Nobody knew who the fuck William Wallace was. He made Braveheart. It's not 100% accurate, but now people investigated William Wallace after the movie was made because of him. So sometimes you got to make a movie where you might stretch the truth out a lot, but that's what gets people in there to study the real story behind the story.
Right. And I think there should be just a little bit more about the cryptid. They didn't really talk about the creature. They just talked about, the drama behind it.
Yeah.
For now, though, the closest we might get is Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2. Beware, every 23 years, the creeper is here.
Now this one, them guys, I've never seen them. I know it's about the large ant. It's 1954, called Them. I've never watched it. I mean, I'm sure back in that day, that's great effects.
Yeah, it looks pretty sick. I watched the trailer. I might even have the cover to it, but yeah, it looks incredible for its time.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta be honest. Maybe I need to see it now. I do remember seeing this as a kid on TV. The big large Tantra in 1955, and I remember liking it as a kid. I just haven't seen it as a grown up to remember. Do I still like it, or was it just when I was a kid? It's hard to know.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie, but I did see a tarantula on a path when I was in New Mexico that was freaking huge, and it definitely startled me. And my mom actually was driving down in Texas and had a flying spider come through her top window, the moonroof, the sunroof. But it was back in the day, so I don't know. Maybe it was a convertible or something. But did cars have moonroofs in the 80s?
Huh. I gotta look that up. I don't remember. Hey,
Yeah,
look, don't forget the International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine. It's run by Lauren Coleman. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Well,
And there's also a Bigfoot expedition museum in Cherry Log, Georgia, as well.
Well, all I got to say is Discovery Channel. You guys should sponsor me and Bigfoot Anonymous to go there. Check these places out for you.
Right.
Discovery Plus. You need materials for the younger generation. Wear it.
We are, man. And we'll gladly investigate day and night. We'll spend the night. It doesn't matter.
Then let me see here. You know what? To be honest with you, Frogs. I never watched Frogs in 1972. I might have to watch Frogs. I saw the title. I'm like, horror frogs, huh?
Yeah, that sounds pretty classic.
Until this chart.
I actually wrote a book one time a short story, I guess. I got to turn it into a book about these frogs because some frogs have DMT on them and it can make you hallucinate. So there was so much of that in the swamp that it made a man like hallucinate, like, but he didn't really hallucinate. He like transformed into a frog man. So I do need to continue that because it's kind of a take on Creature from the Black Lagoon. And frogs is just another sign that, yeah, I need to. Because look at that. It's classic.
Let's see what it says here. 1972 horror film Frogs Didn't Score Well critics. Well, come on. Most critics don't like horror movies. Come on. But it's one of the creepiest bug-based horror films ever to hit the screen. Okay, the story revolves around a cameraman who finds himself on an island owned by super wealthy Crockett family. Okay. Soon the creatures on the island, led by an army of frogs, began rebelling and killing the humans on the island. The dead I gotta watch it, so I gotta see how these frogs decide, hey, there's too many humans coming on my island. We gotta defend it.
I like it. And the frogs outside are going crazy too, so they hear us talking about their family members.
But the picture here looks like spiders.
Hey, I think she was probably surrounded by the swamp, you know.
This looks like a spider. But I mean, okay, you know, I'd rather check it out. Mimik. Now, this was good.
Oh,
Mimik,
yeah.
1997. Mimik took an interesting family premiere, tweaked it enough to start apart. Mira, blah, 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 who created a hybrid insects to deal with the strain of cockroaches. And you listen, this does go on. People splice DNA to create something. People do with dogs. They want to make a special kind of a breed of a dog, so they take two different breeds and put them together. People try to do that with animals and all that, and not knowing what they're dealing with.
Right. People are making ligers out there that are ginormous, bigger than cars. But dude, Mimik was like one of my favorite movies. I watched it over my Aunt Eileen's house. And yeah, there's a real bad problem in the subways. So they make this concoction and then it backfires and it turns into this strange creature. And Guillermo del Toro made the movie, you know, yep. Hellboy, Pan's Labyrinth. He's a freaking genius. This movie is creepy as heck. And I think we've mentioned it on like 2 shows before. So I love when it comes back up, man. It is awesome and creepy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you think about it, the Amazing Spider-Man movie, the one with Andrew Garfield, I can't remember where the scientists, they were trying to use lizard DNA to regrow, and he injects himself, and of course, in that movie, he was turning himself into a lizard and all that. So, I mean, splicing DNA. Now, if you look at the movie Jurassic World, the one that's, you know, after Jurassic Park series, Jurassic World, they spliced 2 dinosaur DNA. The one creature was in that water. It was like, I can't remember the 2 dinosaurs they spliced together, but that's human nature, man. Humans want to create the ultimate, some for a weapon, some try to, like you said, to eat the other insects in your area. And a lot of people don't realize, you know, the circle of life, there's reasons why we have spiders, you know, to help bring down the insects and all that. So when you're trying to splice stuff, you're going to, you know, you can screw over the planet. I mean, like if you try to get rid of all your bees, the bees needs the flowers to, potent the flowers. I mean, everything. Oh, the Island of Dr. Moreau. That's true. The Island of Dr. Moreau is about DNA splicing. That is perfect. That is the perfect movie.
And there's the 6th Day, Gemini Man, a bunch of stuff is talking about it, man. It's very nerve-wracking.
Oh, Gemini Man, but the cloning himself, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, Jurassic World is all about, you know, cloning these dinosaurs, and then they talk about cloning a human at the newest one.
Yeah. So let's see what's next on this list. Let's see. Oh, another one of my personal favorites.
Yes.
8-legged freaks, man. I got to tell you something. When I saw this movie, I absolutely fell in love with this movie because this movie had comedy, it had horror. I mean, and it wasn't just one kind of spider. You had the jumping spiders. You had the spiders that was in the ground that takes you and snaps you down. Then you had the queen spider with the soldier spiders. You had so many different kind of spiders. I mean, how could you not love this movie? And it was based on the old-fashioned 50s movies, right? About radiation, waste. Where in this one, the waste fell into a lake, and the guy picked up like those little insect bugs and took it back to his spider farm and fed the spiders these radioactive insects, and these spiders just grew. I mean, David Arquette was so perfect in this movie. And what's that famous? Is it the Black Widow actress in this?
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, I think she's in it.
Wow, I think so. I actually think so. Wow, that's pretty crazy to put that together.
Let me see here.
David Arquette is one of my favorite wrestlers, though. You know, he's a professional wrestler, and he's Dewey in the Scream series, and they just finished filming the new Scream. And you know, this takes place, I'm pretty sure, in near El Paso, and I drove through El Paso, and you definitely get the vibes through the desert of anything's out here.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson is in it.
Awesome, good call.
And I think, let me see here. Where do I have it? I think
Scarlett Johansson's like a kid in it, isn't she?
Yes. She was the daughter of the woman police chief in this movie.
Yeah.
And hold on.
But what if circumstance?
Let me pause. And I think I gotta. Hold on. I think I got a scene with her. They're there. Of course, the big spiders up here. I think I'm almost there.
Yeah, I was 10 years old when this came out. It's a perfect sign for like the early 2000s, you know, just that one vibe.
She's the girl next to him. She was getting. I know you can't really see her there.
Yeah, she's stuck in a web.
But Scarlett Johansson is in this movie. So that's where you got your Black Widow. I mean, that's right. The spider, 100%. Black Widow.
It all connects.
Oh man,
it was written long before. Isn't that crazy?
I was thinking Black Widow, but I wasn't putting the two together. How stupid am I? But that's all right. But everything about this movie, man, I still watch this movie. I own the DVD copy. And like I said, I just love all the different spiders and the big tarantula where the cop was shooting up and that weird gook stuff gets in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean it was, oh, she is 36 years old now. Holy cow. Wow.
Time flies.
36. My God. That's man,
this movie's about to be 20 years old, so I hope they do some kind of remake or something, part 2, because they could definitely follow it up. That would be really magical.
You know, they showed they blow the dimes, the mines, but what about all the rest of those radioactive insects that was out in that water? I'm sure he didn't capture them all. And I'm sure other creatures out by the lake starts to eat those insects. I mean, you could go big. And like I said, I just loved it because it wasn't just one kind of spider. They had so many different kind of spiders and the different jobs that they have.
Yeah.
Not every spider is the same. They got spiders that could blend with the environment. You know, they got the spiders that could jump, spiders that do better webs than the spiders that dig holes. I mean, spiders. I mean, and you need spiders in life, people. They're the ones that help with the insects population.
They kill the flies because flies carry disease, man. So I always keep my spiders around. I actually had a pet spider recently, and he passed away, and I still have him up on the windowsill. I feel bad for him.
Now, the Deadly Mantis, I know this movie, but I can't remember a single thing out of it. I know I've seen it, but like 5 or 6 years old, so I don't have a good memory of this, but I mean, it was probably good during its time.
Yeah, I could definitely imagine. Look at it, man. I would love to see something new with like the Mantis Man, because there's the legends of him down in the Ohio River Valley, right by Mothman. So I'd love to see a tie. Like seeing a praying mantis in real life is truly special. I've seen a few in my day.
Yeah, that could be a great remake. Maybe there were remakes, we just don't know about it.
Yeah.
The Swarm. I saw this on this list, but honestly, I've never seen The Swarm. It's 1978 about killer bees could cause a mass disaster on the biblical scale. I've never seen this. And of course, for the last 5-10 years, we've been hearing about killer bees from China or whatever coming here in America that's destroying other bee farms and all that. I'm sorry. That would suck to be attacked by bees, because bees, one sting hurts depending on the type of bee. Imagine just getting all stung on your whole fucking body to your clothes. Oh, man.
Yeah, I meant to mention this earlier. On our investigation, this lady was walking, and she walked on an underground nest, and she ended up getting stung 30 times because she had to leave because she was swelling up so bad. She thought maybe she was going to have to go to the hospital, and I was picking them out of her hair. And I've been stung a lot because I've had an encounter with an underground nest before. And yeah, man, those things are mean. They just keep biting and stinging. I saw a Killer Bees movie on the Sci-Fi Channel like in the 90s and early 2000s. I don't think it was this one. I bet it was some other, B-rated movie, but I'm sure tons of other people watch it as well, unless it was some kind of Mandela effect that it was like this movie, but I pictured it as in the 2000s.
This person wrote, I found a really teeny praying mantis a few weeks ago, no bigger than my fingernail. I put it in a safer place in a tree so it wouldn't get stepped on. Aleve K, you sound like my wife, because sometimes we'll take a walk on this trail and there'll be those little sliming worms or snails going across the dirt. My wife would actually pick up the snail and put it on the other side so nobody steps on it. I probably would have stepped on it, to be honest with you. My wife saw the snail, picked it up, moved it over. She has a good heart.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. I always want to preserve life wherever I can. And yeah, putting a mantis up in a tree, I hope you can check up on it and see if it grows. And then your wife, saving that snail, I appreciate that too, because
I should be more like that. I'll be honest with you.
It's not like you're gonna step on them on purpose, though.
No. It's not like I look for them, because I don't want that on my shoe, man. They're gooey.
Yeah.
I like insects and spiders and try to rescue them if I can. That's very good of you. Just don't try to rescue a black widow. Those things can make you sick. I wonder what is number one on this list. Trying to think here, because we saw 8-Legged Freaks is already on there. I didn't see what was number one. I'm trying to think what would we consider. Oh, probably. No. Tantra's on here. I wonder Kingdom of Spiders. I wonder if that's number one.
Maybe just Arachnid.
Phase 4, 1974. Huh.
Looks like an ant movie. And the weight of ants outweighs the weight of humans on Earth. That fact is just like mind-blowing.
I'm going to have to copy and paste it and look at images.
And I've been attacked by ants, down here, fire ants, and it doesn't feel good. Your leg swells up really bad, and it gets all pussy, and it burns for like 4 straight days. I still have scars from when I first moved down here and got attacked by fire ants. So that's scary. My grandfather used to tell me a story back in the day, the Native Americans versus settlers, and they'd catch them on cliffs. The Native Americans would catch the white man on cliffs, and either you'd have to jump off the cliff to your death, or they'd catch you and they'd lay you on an anthill and they'd slit your eyelids, so you'd have to stare at the sun, and they'd just eat you alive. I'd definitely jump off the cliff at that point. Jeez.
I see a lot of desert where it looks like they're stuck in the ground.
That one looks bad, man. Yeah. Just imagine being eaten alive by ants while you're stuck in the sand. That's pretty crazy. It kind of went along with my grandfather's story.
Yeah, it's just weird. Number 1 on this list, and I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it looks like an indie underground snuff film.
Yeah, and it's called Phase 4. It's like, is that because they're in Phase 4? Or is this a part 4 of a 3, 2, 1?
Right. Yeah, it looks pretty wild though. The artwork
The Earth was turned into a cemetery.
I like it.
I like it. I like that saying. The day the Earth was turned into a cemetery.
Yeah, it's true.
And this invaders controlled by terror out in space, commanded to. Oh, okay.
Pretty cool.
That was interesting. I mean, I never thought of a movie I never even heard that's on there. But
yeah, we'll have to watch it. Maybe it'll be on like Shudder or something.
Yeah, where is?
I definitely recommend for people that want to have like the most crawling in your skin experience. Watch the movie Bug, B-U-G. Ashley Judd and Michael Shannon.
Oh yeah, when they're going crazy insane.
Yeah, they're like in a house and they keep imagining bugs and stuff. It's kind of like a Scanner Darkly, you know, with the freaking just like paranoia effect. I, of course, have a master list for the end of the show of spider movies. But, you know, Clash of the Titans. Just remember those giant scorpions that were attacking Perseus, man. Pretty freaking wild.
I
actually had a pet scorpion. His name was Julius. He was very cool. Never stung me. I trusted him with my life. And we had a ceremony for him after he passed away. I felt horrible. You know, I kept him in my basement, and I wish he lived a better life. I had cats, so I had to protect the cats first. But I'm sure he would have just lived with me outside. Probably would have slept on my pillow and not stung me. I wish he got to live longer, but yeah, Julius was the man. Here's me holding Julius. He's in my hand. He was a good party trickster. Yeah, he scared a lot of people. He was a good guy, man. Rest in peace, Julius.
I'm really surprised Kingdom of the Spiders wasn't on here. Kingdom of the Spiders had William Shatner as a cop in it, and it was a story about a town, I can't remember, Arizona or New Mexico, where it was overrun by tarantulas.
Wow.
I mean, it was just like thousands of tarantulas all over in this movie.
That's a cool shot. I wonder how they did that. Like if they contacted a bunch of tarantula farms or if they digitally. It doesn't look like they digitally put it in. Those look like real tarantulas.
No, this came out in the 70s, so you know, digital wasn't really there yet.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty magical, man. And just imagine that. Yeah, I love the actors.
Now, in this one, is kind of almost a comedy, more of a comedy version than Eight-Legged Freaks called Big Ass Spiders.
Big Ass Spider, yeah. That was a pretty good one.
That is a good movie. It's like
Ray Wise is the main bad guy, or not, not bad guy, but main badass towards the spiders.
Yeah, guys, I wanted to press play on these, but knowing where we're at, they'll probably shut this video down like they did with Chucky.
It's pretty crazy.
I forgot this one. I forgot what this one's called. This one's actually a foreign spider movie.
Nice.
A foreign spider movie. Actually, I have it in the description, I think. Oh, no, I don't.
Did you see camel spiders at all on your research, or have you ever seen that movie?
Camel spiders. What?
Yeah.
Camel? I'm going to type it in. Camel spiders.
Yeah, it's a funny one.
Is that what the movie's called?
Yeah, camel spiders. Jim Wynorski directed it, and he also directed Cobra Gator, which, you know, I've investigated many times. And me and Chris Hurley, the walking legend, we've actually went to the filming location of Cobra Gator. He breaks down a gas station, explodes the gas station in the movie. And we went to the gas station and took a picture in front of it. So it was very cool. So Camel Spiders is linked to the place that we're investigating. So it's just awesome that the spider web always combines.
I remember seeing parts of this. I can't remember why I couldn't finish it. Because it came out in 2011. And I remember that poster because that poster is wild. I mean, that's
it's been on, you know, indie sites and maybe Netflix in the early days. See, I was on Netflix when you could only mail in, you know?
Oh, yeah. We were all part of Netflix when you could just mail in, and then they started their streaming, but it was like very old movies, wasn't even new stuff.
Right. I knew Fredbox, like, before he dropped the F and just turned it into Redbox. Like, bro, Fredbox. He used to tell me what to rent. Yeah, Jim Wynorski, Camel Spiders, though, it's outrageous. And, like, there's ice spiders out there, and there's some good B-rated spider movies. Hey, right there, I think is Cobra Gator, maybe the artwork of Cobra Gator, if you scroll up just a little bit. Yeah, right there to the left. You see the gator, the cobra? Yeah. Cobra Gator. Yes. Mariana, Florida, baby. That movie, it's controversial. Michael Madsen, who was in Reservoir Dogs, is in it. And the trailer that came out actually showed like 75% of the kills. So everybody wanted it banished, so they took it off, and then the movie got pushed back, and people are like petitioning about it. So let's release Cobra Gator, and if they need any shots, me and Gypsy Road Eric and Jack McClellan from FSU will all film it.
Giant spider invasion. Giant spider invasion.
Heck yeah, EK.
Okay. I feel like I remember seeing this as a kid. Yeah, because it did come out in 1975.
Yeah, that does look hilariously bad. Almost as bad as Zillafoot, the movie I was just in. And there is actually some creepy crawlers at the beginning and a giant spider scene. Actually, the giant spider scene is probably one of the better shot film parts, other than our bunker shots. But yeah, Zillafoot actually had some giant spiders in it too, so that's pretty wild.
But what I love back in the day, I love the design of posters.
Oh yeah, that's magical, man. You have the girl coming out of the opening, the V, the giant spider in the background, the font. Yeah, that's like beautiful. Isn't that what you aim for when you're making, you know, your clip art for each episode? Like, isn't that the perfect layout that you would do?
And what I love about posters, they really try to like look at this woman. She's wearing a bra. I mean, like, I love it.
He's already got me hooked in. I'm with the spider on that one. I understand. Well, the guy shouldn't even be running, dude. Spider don't even give an F about you, homie. He's going after the girl.
I'm trying to remember what's that movie in the water? The big ass snakes or in the water.
Anaconda.
Anaconda. Those were good.
Oh yeah, with Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube and John Voight are in the first one. The second one is really sick too, because it's a Curse of the Blood Orchid. And that one is freaking wild as well, because they go out into the Amazon and there's these orchids, these rare freaking flowers that are it cures cancer for humans, but it allows the giant anacondas to grow to giant lengths. Yeah, man. That movie is awesome. I think that one's like the third movie. David Hasselhoff is in the third and fourth ones. They're incredibly bad. But yeah, the first two are awesome.
Posters were great back then. Well, yeah, you got to remember. People got to remember posters all the way up to the 80s. You know, not everybody had TVs. Not everybody had access. No, there was no internet until late 90s. So posters were trailers. I mean, they were trailers for people. I remember seeing Star Wars, not the commercial. I remember seeing the black and white picture in a newspaper. You know, I mean, posters were the trailer. You judge movies with the poster. Now, I don't know if you guys remember an action movie in the 80s that starred Arnold Schwarzenegger that had a giant snake in the movie. Do anybody remember what I'm talking about? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Is it Conan?
Conan it is.
Yes.
Giant. I'm going to get a picture of giant, that's right, a giant snake. And Conan the Barbarian.
Yes. I've been watching a lot of Arnold movies, man. The Sixth Day, End of Days, the Terminator movies, Predator. He's an icon, man. He's in a cool movie called Maggie. He's a hero.
You can see big ass snake there, and then the story goes, this guy he's trying to kill turns into a snake. Of course, that's Darth Vader right there. Darth Vader turning into a snake.
Yeah. James Earl Jones, the bad guy in Sandlot as well. What a magical guy, man.
And of course, the big symbol.
Yeah, the reptilians and the snakes and the insects. It really shows you how quick things go. You know, that bridge to supernatural goes quick. I've interviewed Cameron and Tristan from Hidden Relief on my TikTok about an elf they saw, but one of their nephews got chased by a 6-legged creature. So it's kind of like a giant insect that's like 2 feet tall. I don't even really know what to think. You know, it's like a critter or a gremlin.
Yeah, and I remember the movie you talked about earlier, The Clash of the Titans, the original 80s version, where I think it was Medusa's head in that bag, and they cut a hole in that bag, and the blood drips on the what you're talking about in The Clash of the Titans, where it made those little insects grow huge.
Yeah. Well, I got to watch the original one. Of course, I've seen clips of it, but I just watched both the new ones with Sam Worthington. I'd love to see those followed up. They were supposed to make a trilogy, but the third one got scrapped. But you know, I'd love to see a new one.
Original Clash of the Titans.
I know there's a couple that go like way back even farther in the 80s, of course.
Yeah, and of course in the original Clash of Titans, like you said, they fight big, large creatures. Of course, you got the Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
To fight the Kraken.
And we will be doing a sea creature, Kraken, shark, monster, ocean, beast, behemoth episode here soon, because Eric's town here in Seattle is having a hockey team, the Seattle Kraken. So we're going to get it cracking for the expansion draft, and we're going to honor it. And hopefully they're going to honor us. And when they win a ring, they'll have us on the ice because we helped.
I'm trying to – oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
And the Lake Erie Monsters should be an expansion or a developmental team for the Kraken. Oh, yeah, that's a sick shot.
Oh, yeah, fighting those big-ass things. So insects, large insects, been in not just horror movies, been in action movies, like Conan movies, The Clash of Titans. I mean, very... Now you have a list, right? I want to hear your list. Let's get your list now. Let's hear on your list, because I need to remember some of these movies.
The first one's going to be a cool one. It. Pennywise. Remember part 2 when they go down underground as the adults and they see the spider, and it's Pennywise as a giant spider.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then James and the Giant Peach. The giant spider actually helps James on his journey. And then I have camel spiders. Home Alone. Macaulay Culkin's character Kevin uses a giant tarantula to scare Marv.
Took it from his brother's room. Yeah.
Pretty classic. King Kong and then Kong Skull Island. Those giant spiders and other critters that end up eating the guys in the valley and on the island. Pretty freaking cool.
And that King Kong that was done by the Lord of the Rings guy.
Peter Jackson.
I think they had spiders in that one too.
Yep, in the valley, when they have nowhere to go and there's a bunch of giant bugs. Yeah, both of them have spiders. And then the Hobbit, the very first Hobbit has giant spiders, and then Lord of the Rings, the Return of the King, which I'm using as a plate for my peanut butter and jelly right now. But Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, that also has giant spiders in it. The Amazing Spider-Man, of course, I had to bring up Spider-Man, Venom, Into the Spider-Verse, whatever Spider-Man movie you want to throw in there. The Wild Wild West. You guys remember the mechanical spider that is moving through the desert? That terrible Will Smith movie? Classic. Charlotte's Web. Of course, the pig uses the spider to talk to the humans. Itsy Bitsy. That came out last year. It's a crazy, weird folklore movie. Very cool. Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets. Those spiders are creepy out in the Forbidden Forest. Lava Lantula, another stupid C-grade movie. Son of Godzilla. I have that on DVD right here. That is famous for giant monsters that are 8-legged freaks. Arachnophobia. Nightmare Cinema, which was a good anthology movie. Dr. No, which is a James Bond movie.
Yep.
The Mist, which has some spiders in the mist. Lost in Space, some space spiders.
That's true.
Big Ass Spider, of course. Honey Spider, Spiders 3D. Arachnoquake, giant spiders that come out after an earthquake. Ice Spiders, Spider Forest. Creepies, Webs, Earth vs. the Spider, Arachnid, Spiders and Spiders 2, Breeding Ground, Kingdom of Spiders, the one you mentioned earlier, of course, The Incredible Shrinking Man is a guy who goes against a giant spider, Jungle to Jungle, Nothing to Lose, one of my dude's favorite movies back in the day, Hangman's Curse, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. You remember that girl who has that pimple on her face, and then she starts poking it, and then the spider leg pops out? That thing was scary. Talk about crawling in your skin. What about Black Widow? I have that on there. Black Widow. Monster Hunter, the new Mia Djokovic movie, has some giant spider-like creatures in it.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Cabin in the Woods. They have giant spiders. Journey 2, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie, The Mysterious Island Part 2 with Vanessa Hudgens. That's also a cursed film because she had paranormal activity while filming it. But yeah, that's a good one. Gremlins 2, and then Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill Revelations. There were some creepy spiders involved in it. Goosebumps 2, which was, a subpar movie. I loved the first one, but I'm glad the second one got told. Ewoks Adventures had some creepy spiders in it, and that's, of course, a Star Wars spin-off, the Ewok movies.
I remember that.
To the Moon, 7 Guardians of the Tomb, Superman Doomsday, which was like an animated Superman movie that he battles some spiders. Then The Lost World, an old movie, of course. Dark Crystal, our favorite Jim Henson movie. Clash of the Titans, Monster Island, Forbidden Planet, Land of the Lost, Godzilla Final Wars, The Thing, when the head turns into that spider-type creature.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Also, Toy Story, when the other spider-type creature comes alive, and that's really scary. Miss Spider. And then there's also a TV show called Spider Riders. Very cool, just like the Curse of the Black Widow, and then Tarantulas. There's also many other B-rated movies that if you just type in spider movies, that you'll find 500 crazy movies because they're creepy, man. They always say you're never farther than 8 feet away than an 8-legged creature.
Well, here's one in the movie Crawl from the 80s about the big star, where this guy had to travel to talk to this woman to find out where these aliens going to be, and she has to put like a spell on the spider, and once she tells him where these aliens going to be next, the spider will go kill her. So I always thought it was neat how they made the spider look. And then here's this that's the movie Crow, but here's one that a science fiction movie built spider robots in it that stars he's evil star in it from the band Kiss, Gene Simmons. I don't know if you guys remember this movie, but I love this movie, Runaway.
Dope, I've never
Gene
seen
Simmons and the Magnum PI guy. Magnum PI. What's his name? Magnum PI.
A little bit before my time. I wish I
Magnum
knew.
PI. That's Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck. Okay.
So Tom Selleck. This movie's made in the 80s, and guys, this movie kind of represented the future because this movie had drones before drones were even there, and this guy built evil robot spiders.
Yeah.
What it does is when the spider, this metal thing ejects acid into your body.
Jesus. That's awesome. Gene Simmons looks awesome right there. And those are some great stills. That's probably a wild action movie.
Oh, it really is. I mean, when
and
you
it has
watch
sci-fi
this movie,
twist to it. I have to watch it.
In this movie, Runaway, I mean, when they first got to go into this house because there's it's about the future where they have these robots and some of these robots go bad. So Tom Selleck plays a cop that stops these robots, and they use a drone to fly into this house. Now, this is the 80s before there was even drones.
Right,
so in a lot of ways, the movie was showing the future. And in the movie, Gene Simmons, there's a picture here, had this gun where he had heat-seeking missiles. We got those now.
Yeah, we do.
So we got those.
They predicted programming.
And it was just wicked because he built like these spiders to inject acid into your body.
Hey, every movie has roots to reality. They say that most birds are government spies, and all these mosquitoes are just little cameras. So watch it, man. All these locusts out there, I don't believe they're real.
Yeah, it's a really good movie because it really showed what the future is going to be like in the 80s.
That's wild. They were ahead of their time, man.
Yeah.
My mom's fiance has a bunch of Tom Selleck movies. I'm trying to think what it's like. Jesse Stone, I'm pretty sure. Cold Hard, Jesse Stone.
What is A Quigley Down Under is one of his best ones, where he plays the American like cowboy going to Australia for a job, and then he finds out the guy who hired him is a piece of shit, so he goes like attacks him instead.
Yeah,
but like I said, building machines to look like spiders and stuff, I just think it's pretty neat. So if you guys never seen this, look at that. Oh, just think about that shitting acid into your body. Oh,
that is pretty wild, man. I like that idea. It's terrifying. Just because imagine that thing coming at you, you just feel helpless. All you can do is try to step on it or throw something at it, but you stand no chance. You stand no chance, man.
And if people don't know this, I don't know, this is not really an Easter egg or nothing, but we all know Indiana Jones is Harrison Ford. Well, Harrison Ford was not the first guy that was going to be Indiana Jones. The main guy they wanted, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, they wanted Tom Selleck. They wanted him to be Indiana Jones, and I mean they tried everything, but the thing is, Tom Selleck was still doing Magnum PI, so he was still under contract with Magnum PI, so he could not get out of his contract to do Indiana Jones. And then the story goes that Steven Spielberg said, "Hey, why can't we just use your Han Solo guy? He'd be perfect." And George Lucas at first says, "No, I don't want this actor to have two main movies. I wanted this to concentrate on Star Wars." So George Lucas says, "No, I don't. You can't use Harrison Ford." But Steven Spielberg convinced him, "Listen, we don't have Tom Selleck. We need a guy for this movie. I think he's perfect." So I don't know if that's an Easter egg for anybody, if anybody cares, but that's a little.
That's awesome. I never heard that, so I appreciate that as a fun fact. That's very cool. And of course, River Phoenix being, the younger version of Harrison Ford in the movie too. Like it's so many different ties to so many different cool things. I consider myself like a little Indiana Jones, in the Florida time. And I know the Walking Legend, he definitely is his own Indiana Jones. We cover a lot of ground here in the Panhandle trying to dive into mysteries, passing the Russ House, the Holden House, the Alamo Cave, the Dozier School. There's tons of stories out here with the Ocheesy Wild Man, the Two-Egg Stump Jumper, the Florida Skunk Ape, the Cabbage Man, the Skunk Ape Man. It's creepy, dude. It's wild.
No, I love hearing everybody's stories and stuff, and like I said, you guys want to double check what I'm just saying. It's all you guys can find all these stories. They're all over the place. Giant spiders, giant insects. And I'm really excited about the sea monster ones. I think there's so much to mine, and not just the sharks. You have movies like The Abyss, The Black Lagoon, and that was a good one. And actually, not this week, but next week, I want to do a show because I really want to know all the Bigfoot movies. And I think by doing a show, say what are the Bigfoot movies?
That would be a perfect episode, and that I would be proud to be a part of that, man, because Bigfoot and we go hand in hand. I got tons of books about it. I'm always reading all about Bigfoot. It's all about it.
There are rumors going around Harrison Ford got hurt and he isn't in most of the next movie. Paranormal On The World, I know that whole story. Harrison Ford did get hurt on the job of filming Indiana Jones, and they're still he's back. They're still making. There's nothing that's gonna be cut out because he got hurt. Remember, Harrison Ford, I don't know what his age is. I think he's 82 or something.
Wow.
I don't know if you know this. When he did Force Awakens, the Star Wars, there was a door that comes down. It came down. I think it broke his foot.
Shattered his ankle, yeah.
Yeah. So Harrison Ford gets hurt in every movie. And remember, Harrison Ford crashes planes.
Yeah, and he shattered his pelvis in that too.
But he is back with Indiana Jones. He got hurt, but that is true. That's not a rumor. That is true. He did get hurt, but he's okay now, and they're continuing making the movie. And what they did was they shot other scenes that he wasn't in it. So they kept the camera rolling until he got back and put his scenes in the movie. So
that's the thing with movie magic. Everything's so calculated that they just are like, okay, we don't need him for these scenes. Let's film these until he heals. 79 years old. That's crazy.
79.
But if you don't count the leap years and you don't round the 24 up every time, he's like 109 years old and he's still going strong.
Well, if you think about his character, he's an archaeologist. He's a searcher. I mean, there is no age limit of being a searcher. Now, is he going to fight a 20-year-old man in this or something? I don't know. Hopefully they don't make him. I don't know if you guys seen. It looks so horrible. That Netflix movie, that gangster movie,
The Irishman.
The Irishman. I actually, to be honest with you guys, I didn't like The Irishman, but there was a scene where Robert De Niro they're kicking this guy that flew out of the window, and it looks so horrible because these old men, and you can see the way they're kicking them. They should have dubbed their face on a younger body to kick because it looks so bad.
Yeah.
Kicking it kind of threw me out. It kind of threw my whole mojo off the movie when I saw that part. So hopefully, if he's gonna fight a 30-year-old man, double him, get a young guy, put his face on because
Someone that could kick.
But hey, it's good, I mean, a lot of people didn't like his Crystal the Skulls. I didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't the three best Indiana Jones movies, but I was interested in it.
It was a good addition. I like Shia LaBeouf, and it was interesting.
Yeah, and they had spiders in it. Remember?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Spider hills, and when they all climb on you, they eat you up and they pull you under.
Yeah,
I forgot that did have spiders in it.
That's a good find. Just even following the Indiana Jones, we were inspired by the comet, man, and we found more.
And remember, Raiders of the Lost Ark, one of the most famous scenes in Raiders of the Lost Ark is when they're in that cave. The one guy's following Indiana Jones. He made him turn around. Or no, Indiana Jones had spiders, tarantulas on him. They took it off, and when his partner rolled around, he had all those tarantulas all over his body. Mm-hmm. You remember that in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he had to
steer him off. It's like the scarab beetles in The Mummy. Remember those? They could get into your skin. Oh yeah.
Part 1, Pittsburgh Part 2 with Edward Furlong. Were there spiders in that one too?
I'm not sure if there's killer spiders, but I know there's definitely spiders in the graveyard. But that was one of the scariest movies ever, man. The Cursed Sister in the first one really scared me, and then Edward Furlong, he's in Part 2, and he's has a single mom, and then the sheriff wants to date the mom, and he's a big bully. And there's always one scene that stuck out with me. He's revving the back tire of the motorcycle, and then it catches the kid's freaking scarf, and it pulls the kid's face into it and kills him. And he's like, "Oops, my bad." It's crazy.
That's the Kino and the Crystal Skulls, and all those spiders are on them.
Yeah, that's a good shot right there. I like that. And the Goonies has some spiders too on the underground missions.
Oh, just can you imagine all those spiders on you? Yeah. Let's see, and then the spiders and Raiders of the right there.
Yeah. Yep, he had to cheer him off. That kind of reminds me, I think they're in Jurassic Park: The Lost World too.
And that actor, he's that big time actor. He played in Spider-Man 2. He played the spider guy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I forget his name. It's something like Italian or Spanish.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
That's talented.
That's the same guy.
Yeah,
so he's connected with spiders.
That's a good find, man. I like that.
So spiders in more movies than we think.
I actually wrote a poem and a song, and it's incredible. I want everybody to follow along because it tells a story. So I'm going to read it pretty slow, and I just want everybody to visualize it. Okay, guys?
Got it.
It's called Along Came a Spider by C. Flinna. Connor Flynn with the A. C. Flinna. All right. Along came a spider crawling down the web. Bit the insect with a bit of poison. But what it didn't know is the insect's blood was twice venomous as the spider's poison. It was a setup from the start, another way of art, being close to death still coming out on top. It took a bit of time and a good amount of pain. The insect found a bug that was killed by the ape. The insect took it back and opened up his chest and took out a few samples of the spider's venom. Once every day, it battled the pain, injecting itself, increasing each day. It built a tolerance, but the poison so strong, it needed something in between, like shielded by a cell. So it went on the hunt, and it found another bug, twice its size, but it still took it down. With the shell and some heart, it headed to the web. The spider attacked, but he was ready for that. The spider went down, as broke its own web. The bug climbed through and found his wife and kids. And that's such a simple story, but I hope everybody can put it together. The spider was holding the wife and the kids hostage. So the husband, the dad, he battled every day, and he found one bug that the spider killed. And then he took the poison and he injected it every day to him. So then when the spider did attack him, it didn't affect him. And he was ready for that. And it crashed through the web. And he saved his wife and kids. And, that story should be like, I don't know. Yeah. That's the story of life and beyond, man. And I was just lucky enough to grab it from the clouds and try to share it with you guys. But I wrote that probably 10 years ago now. So it's very cool to share it today. And it just shows that everything is in a spider web of life.
It is. I can't find a picture of it because your last name, Connor. When I think of Connor, I think of Tron. The movie Tron. And there was a video game, Tron. It was actually on Atari 2600, I think, where you're shooting spiders in it.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And I was trying to find a picture of it, and I can't. It's just too damn old.
Yeah, Tron is really close to my heart though, because the last name Flynn and my family is stuck in the game, man. So you have to break free from the Matrix.
Found it. Oh shit! Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Dope.
There you go. That's the video game Tron, and in this game, Tron had to kill the spiders.
Wow. The Resident Evil and Silent Hill are very famous for spider scenes too, but it started with Tron, and I didn't know that. And even Galaga and stuff, they're strange spider-like creatures in outer space.
Yeah, I thought you might like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like that. And I know
related to Tron, and now you're related to Tron with spiders in a video game.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think. I was trying to think because in the video game, I remember shooting spiders, but I'm trying to think, did they have spiders in the original Tron movie? I don't think they did, but they put them in the video game, which is weird.
That is weird. I can't wait to see a new Tron movie. I think they're working on it right now. It's going to be part 3.
Oh, they're going to go part 3? I wonder.
I heard that somewhere.
I say fuck it, just do it, start all over.
Yeah.
Because now you got better technology of action machines that can put you in a game in a way. Because I remember watching Tron. The only crazy thing about Tron was, here they are making video games, but then you got this machine that can transport. I think the transportation of that device is bigger than the video games.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I know it's a movie, but I just think that movie, to me, like The Last Starfighter, can do a real awesome reboot with the technology they have nowadays. I think it'd be off the hook, and maybe they could put the spiders in it.
That would be cool, and make them come to real life and super 3D. Have you ever used a VR headset and felt what it feels like to watch VR?
I actually own a pair of a headset.
Oh, nice. Do you have the Oculus or a PS4 one? Nice.
The Oculus Part 2, whatever it is.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, that's super interactive, man. And just think where they're going to go with the future with movies if they put you in a VR moment, that you're part of the actual movie. It's going to get really, real quick.
This is showing. He's just shooting spiders here. Let me see. I know we're kids, right? There you are, shooting spiders.
I like it. That's awesome.
And this was the video games of our time. My time.
Yeah, Sam Flynn, man.
This was top shit.
And games are still really just using this same formula, so it works. I like it.
Yeah, that's right. You had to shoot these spiders to get beamed up.
I like it. You have to clear a path, man. That's the truth. When we're out there in the swamp, you have to clear a path just to get to Bigfoot. You got to dodge the gators, the lizards, the rats, and the beavers, man, and then the poisonous serpents as well.
So So what do you got going on? What's your next side project?
Oh man, we're going hiking at Scariest Park, and then we're gonna go check out Wakulla because there's a rumored volcano here in Florida. So we're gonna go try to find this thing that's smoking in the middle of the swamp down south of Tallahassee. And then there's been alien books written about it, so it could just be like a crashed spaceship. So we're gonna take the kayaks out there and hopefully not have to battle any cobra gators or anything too crazy. But yeah, that's, first and foremost on the outdoor stuff. But on the indoor stuff, I just finished Panhandle Pirates, my 4th book, and I'm really excited to get it published. My birthday is next month, so I think I'm going to put it out for my birthday, a little bit of an extravaganza. And then the next week after that, I'm going camping up in Tennessee for that, Sasquatch camp out. And then at the end of September, going to the Everglades to meet with my dad. And that's going to be so awesome. But yeah, I want everybody to check out my Sasquatch research and paranormal diving into. I dive into investigations, paranormal, urban exploring, geocaching, Pokemon going, all on YouTube. Bigfoot Anon. I interview a bunch of people, and I still have tons of video piled up. Edward Scissorhands location, Jeepers Creepers, the ghost of Frank Lloyd Wright. I interview authors and Bigfoot researchers. So it's not only my, opinions. I'm trying to create a spider web of, people that can give you information. I interviewed a doctor that shows a torn bag by Bigfoot. I interviewed a freaking police officer from Georgia that saw Goatman. I've also been narrating chapters from my books. My first book, Eerie Swamps, Road Trip to Eden, Monsters and Mysteries, Around the Corner, and Big Brother Bigfoot. All of them are available on Amazon. But I thought it would be cool to go out in the woods and go into graveyards and read a chapter at a time and see what kind of energy I could stir up. I go to different locations and take potions and mix seeds and take mushrooms. I talk about cursed video games and cursed movies. I interview people at my game store. We're about to start doing live Dungeons and Dragons and D&D. So I'm going to start going live on my TikTok since that's where I have the biggest following. So catch me live on TikTok. Once I get a unlimited balance, it's going to be just a plethora of live videos and just exploration. People are always complaining like, oh, why don't you post longer videos? Or why aren't you going inside? It's like, man, I take the video to spread to the world. The phone goes in my pocket, the knife goes in my hand, and then we scan the research,
Well,
I have GoPros and stuff, but
sometimes
I can't be holding my phone the whole time.
Sometimes you don't have to have a 2-hour video, 3-hour video. Sometimes we're living in a fast world. A cool minute video, 2 minutes, you can catch it. You get enough information. You're not drawing it out. You're showing something quick. And I'm sure like some of your videos aren't just 1 minute. You got some that's 6 minutes. When you got more to say, like you got this one video here with 11 minutes.
Yeah, that video right there has Sasquatch hair, Sasquatch cast tracks. Tim T let us stay at his house over in Polk County, and he's been a heavy researching for 2 years straight and has a plethora of knowledge. But yeah, I got a variety of stuff for people. Oh. And those same people that are complaining I'm only making minute videos, what about our 2-hour videos and interviews and investigations that we're diving into multiple times a week right here? So those people can keep sleeping their nappy nap because we out here. We grinding, man, just like Ace Hood. Like, they don't want it, man.
You know what? Every time I put a video I just done on my Reddit page, one of the most common comments is, dude, I don't want to watch a whole 2-hour video about the one subject. You can't please everybody.
Right. And it's never one subject if they're talking about our videos,
sometimes you just give up. You're like, okay, I just can't please everybody. I mean, what you want me to do a subject in 10 minutes? What is the right time for everybody? You know. And then
100%.
on my channel, guys, tomorrow, my brother and I we're going to be talking about right here. Our subject tomorrow is how UFO sightings went from conspiracy theory to a serious government inquiry.
Heck yeah. That's going to be awesome, man.
Because one of the things is you really have seen in the last 2 years an increase of UFOs. I mean, everywhere. Now, I don't know, it's because more people were home because of pandemic. I can't tell you that. I don't know. But we're going to try to dive deep into it. And now, out of nowhere, the governments keep saying, we do recognize now. But, why they're recognizing it now? Why not like in the past? Is it a cover-up? So this conversation tomorrow could go anywhere.
100%, especially with you and Bob. You never know where it's going to go. And with the wild crowd on Gypsy Road, man, people inspire a lot of the thought, man. It's a very special place. And
sometimes on Wednesday, guys, sometimes Bigfoot's bored on Wednesdays. He'll go, hey, I want to jump on. Like, okay, jump on.
Yeah. If the weather's not unfavorable for the outdoor adventures, I always love to hop in with my elders, man. I learned so much from my mentors, freaking Eric and Bob. I still remember our first interview talking about paranormal, Bigfoot. And it's just a beautiful thing to see how much it's evolved. And again, I can't wait till we link up in the future for one of these Bigfoot conferences or paranormal Comic-Cons. And yeah, man, Walking Legend is representing Danielle WD from over. I know we have a lot of people from overseas as well that are just tuning in early in the morning. So, salute to everybody. We definitely appreciate it. And, expand your minds. That's what we stand for. We're the open-minded people. We're not trying to preach anything. We're not trying to confirm anything. We're just trying to open the door to new thought. We're alternative news. They're telling you all this and that. We're just opening the door to this and that. And, we have a strong passion for movies, monsters, and conspiracy theories, and just human stories. Great things.
Movies have clues in them. A lot of clues in them.
Read between the lines, and if you read between the lines, you can predict the future, because all these events have already been shown decades before. So if we can see what's in these new movies, maybe we can see what's happening for the future.
Yeah. People, like I think you said it perfectly. The government tells you one thing. Now, remember, government, most people work for them. We're all rich assholes. They don't know shit. And we'll tell you how it's really affecting us.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see a kick-ass show, man, this last Monday, we did it on the Billionaire Space Club on these billionaires flying to space using our taxpayers' money to do it. And these billionaires, all asked for a pandemic bailout.
Yep, tax breaks.
Tax break bailout. They got the bailout. Now they're using the money to fly to space. I mean,
cool crap, man.
What a comic book world we live in, right? What a comic book world we live in.
Yeah, it's a joke. Jeff Bezos, Branson, all these guys that are thinking they're going up to space. What jokes, man. They're over at Universal Studios getting footage from freaking Stanley Kubrick. What do you think about the reports of Bigfoot being connected to UFOs and aliens? Well, heck yeah, man. They definitely have control over orbs and lights in the sky. But just think, if there are extraterrestrials and spaceships, they would have some kind of thermal imaging. They would have all of us on the grid, plus they'd see all these other humanoid creatures, and they'd have to track them because they have a closer connection to this earth. They have a stronger electric magnetic pull. So yeah, man, I think they're tracking them. I don't know about the Bigfoot, driving the spaceship, but you got to think some of them are in cahoots, because the Pascagoula River alien abduction happened right where the Rougarou sightings are. So a lot of them converge right at the Native American mounds and the giant bone excavation sites and the ley lines. So, follow the storm patterns, follow where the deer go, and you'll see where the UFO and the Bigfoot are. So I think there is a strong connection. Us as protons, electrons, and neutrons, we could become particle and waveform. Particle is solid, waveform is like spirit. Well, 99% of the time we're solid, but that one true moment we're ourselves, we can become waveform. So I think these creatures, they are closer, so they could get into that waveform a little easier. So teleportation, infrasound, and all that, stepping into portals, time travel, it's possible under our realm.
Yeah, and I just put this video in the chat that Paranormal on the World that Bob and I did is called "Is Bigfoot an Extraterrestrial Visitor?"
Yep, and that's our first video we ever did together.
Yeah, we did a big show, and you see in my thumbnail, I made it where I took the Stargate gate and made it where they used the gate for Bigfoot to come from here from other planets. We talked about it. Yep. So that's a good video that we talked about it. And listen, everything's on the table.
100%.
We don't know.
There's thousands of continents, and there's worlds under our feet. Middle Earth, man.
We don't know.
Sasquatch is definitely capable of everything and anything that man is.
Yeah. I mean, we really don't know. I mean, like you said, we heard stories that sometimes people say Bigfoot, they saw a light. They saw, there's the missing 411 stories. People go missing, disappearing. There's stories about interdimensional, a multiverse in a way. I know we're not trying to sound crazy, but multiverse, it's all possibilities. We just don't know. And that's why we do the show, because we want to know. We want to, we might never learn an extra single thing until we die, but man, it's gonna be fun trying.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's about the hunt, it's about the journey, and it's about the memories you create on the path. And I went to the Florida Bigfoot conference and met so many people that were internet buddies, and when you meet them in real life, it's like, oh my gosh, you just double in depth. Like shout out Mogi on Monster, Central Florida Bigfoot, CD Squatcher, Tim T from Florida, Hidden Relief, Florida Lone Wolf, Marie Dumont. There was a lot of good people out there that, they recognized me even. Flat Rock Booger. It was awesome. There's just magical people out there in this community. And
I see great things coming up. I really do. I really do see great things coming up. So, guys, we'll end the show here. But like I said, tomorrow I'm going to do a show on UFOs. And then Thursday we're going to do a show on sea creatures, Jaws, Sharknadoes, and all that. And usually with those kind of shows, I always come out with a music video for the hell of it, for fun. So that should be out sometime tomorrow. Then I don't know what my topics will be on Friday. But beyond that, I know everybody got to go. I know it's like for him, it's 3 hours difference. I know for him, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's fine though. I want everybody to add me on Pokemon Go. Pause the stream in the future and add me. We will exchange gifts, and I will show you guys haunted spots in my area. I will send you gifts from cool haunted Florida spots. Bigfoot Yowie 272772840028. You guys can run that back in the future, even 10 years from now. If the internet still exists, you will see it. You will know it. It will be awesome, guys. Yep. But yeah, look out for our show on Thursday. I cannot wait. I came from the Lake Erie, so Lake Erie Monsters, and then he's out there on the Seattle West Coast. They got the Seattle Kraken coming, the new NHL team. So you heard it here first. And they are arriving.
And we'll talk about where the Kraken legend story comes from. We'll break that down for you guys. So beyond that, guys, have a good night. I'll see everybody later.
Peace.